So what is the cause of all this poverty? Some say that the biometric system in East India. India has 1.3 billion people and no equivalent of the Social Security number. About 4 in 10 births go unregistered. Less than 2% of the population pays income tax. Many more are eligible for welfare benefits but never have collected them, either because they can't figure out how or the middleman stole their share. To try to address these issues, the Indian government rolled out the biggest biometric ID system in the world. It's voluntarily, but in just 8 years, India has managed to collect the fingerprints, photos, and iris scans of more than 1.2 billion people. So this is becoming the new way of living. The government says this system, called Aadhaar Foundation in Hindu, has helped to distribute welfare to the country's neediest, streamline civil services, and purge hundreds of thousands of names from voter rolls, and allow for people to move between states without losing benefits. Yet millions are starving as a result. And it says in the United States that biometric scanning and iris scanning is going to be the wave of the future. And soon, every inmate, every prisoner will be chipped and logged into the system for facial recognition. This is their plans for the future. But will this be the beginning of the depopulation process and global starvation? Could this be the signs of prophecy being fulfilled, that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name within his body? This prophecy is remarkable. I mean, think about it. Nearly 2,000 years ago, Apostle John, prior to meeting Jesus, who had been a fisherman by trade, had been called an uneducated, untrained man, predicted that a global economic system will one day be instituted in which everyone will be forced to receive a number without which they would not be able to buy or sell. Only in this era of computers and electronics and commerce could this prophecy be fulfilled. And it's crazy that 2,000 years ago, the Apostle John saw this and it was able to be put in scripture. But there are currently a number of methods commonly used for purchasing items. You can use cash, you can write a check, you can use a credit card or a debit card, or, instant, which instantly deducts the amounts from your bank account, and it deposits money into your account through these systems. But all of this is said to be a thing of the past, because this parallel program is the biometric passport, which will begin to be issued in many countries after 2018 into 2019 to 2020. Although not involved in commerce, this is not involved in attempt at fail-safe identification, because these RFID chips will be embedded in the cover of mostly everything. So this could be the beginning of the end.
Our constitutional journey did not stop then, and it must not stop now, Judge. And we'll be faced with equally consequential decisions in the 21st century. Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over. Can brain scans be used to determine whether a person is inclined toward criminality or violent behavior? You will rule on that. And, Judge, I need to know whether you will be a justice who believes that the constitutional journey must continue to speak to these consequential decisions, or that we've gone far enough in protecting against government intrusion into our autonomy, into the most personal decisions we make. Judge, that's why this is a critical moment. There are elected officials in this government, such as Mr. DeLay, a fine, honorable, patriotic man, and others, who have been unsuccessful at implementing their agenda in the elected branches. So they've now poured their energies, as the left would if it were different, they've now poured their energies and resources into trying to change the court's view of the Constitution. And now they have an
effective system for verifying work eligibility, so the businesses can better comply with the law. And then we'll be in a position to say, if you don't comply with the law, you deserve to be punished. We catch you cheating right now, you'll be punished. But we got to make it sure that small businesses and large businesses have got the capacity to verify whether a person's here legally or not. Congress needs to give federal agents the authority they need to enforce the law when job applicants submit fraudulent Social Security numbers. Congress needs to make it mandatory for employers to check information provided by job applicants against federal databases. Right now, that's voluntary. In other words, you get ready to hire somebody, you need to check against a federal database to make sure the numbers on the cards aren't forged or real. But what really Congress needs to do is to use a biometric technology to create a new tamper-proof identification card for every legal foreign worker. That's what we need. We need a tamper-proof card. It says, if you're here legally working, here's your card. And you got to show it. And the business owner has got to call for it. And if they hire somebody without the tamper-proof card, they're in violation of the law and will be fined. We've got to reduce the incentives for foreign workers to sneak across the border. That's what we agree on in Washington. If I were a Border Patrol agent, I'd be asking, what are you trying to do about the people trying to sneak in here to work? How come you don't have a temporary way for them to come work on the jobs Americans aren't doing? See, I believe that we need to understand that there are people coming across this border to put food on the table for their family, and they'll do anything to make it into America to do work. That's what you got to understand. A lot of people in Artesia, New Mexico know what I'm talking about. There are people coming to do work Americans aren't doing. They're working in the dairy farm.
We will finally complete the biometric entry-exit visa tracking system, which we need desperately. For years, Congress has required biometric entry-exit visa tracking systems, but it has never been completed. The politicians are all talk, no action, never happens, never happens. Hillary Clinton, all talk. Unfortunately, when there is action, it's always the wrong decision. Do you ever notice? In my administration, we will ensure that this system is in place. And I will tell you, it will be on land, it will be on sea, it will be in air. We will have a proper tracking system. Approximately half of new illegal immigrants came on temporary visas and then never, ever left. Why should they? Nobody's telling them to leave. Stay as long as you want. We'll take...
The most cutting-edge thing about Hannes Sjöblad isn't the phone in his hand. It's the microchip actually in his hand. The tiny implant is the latest advance in a biohacking technology that is steadily becoming a part of normal life in Sweden.
We have created a new implant, which is not a chip, it's a full device where you can add different lights, different vibration, different functions. Sweden is a very tech-literate society. And I think this is the main explanation, really, why a lot of Swedes are adopting chip implants.
Swedes haven't been shy about upgrading themselves with the new version. Thousands already have microchip implants that they use in their daily lives, waving their hand to gain entrance to the gym, confirm their ID or make payments. A short moment of pain not putting them off becoming part Swede, part machine.
This event is an implant party, simply where ordinary people can show up and get a microchip embedded under their skin. The biohacking movement in Sweden is hosting them all over Europe, but it's at home where they get the most willing recipients.
I think it's really cool. You don't have to carry any keys or anything. It's just your body. In maybe 10 years, everything will be in your hand.
In Sweden more than anywhere else, the future is already here. The national train company SJ has around 2,600 people signed up to use microchips instead of train tickets.
Did you see that?
And no need to mind the generation gap. 18-year-old Felicia and father Magnus still bear the scars of their new implants. Student Hannah Herving is also freshly chipped and now just needs to program it to open doors. Although importantly for a future career, it does already connect to her LinkedIn.
Some people say I'm mad that I don't know if it's safe and all that, but people have been putting these chips into animals for 20 years, so I'm not worried about that.
The long-term goal is for the new chips to help provide medical care in remote communities. They're already getting under the skin of the Swedes and may soon become just another normal part of modern life and of the human body. Paul Rees, Al Jazeera, Lund, Sweden.